So in today's video, I'm doing a quick video on what it is going to look like for a bull market in the crypto industry if Kamala gets in versus if Trump gets in, because I think there's a lot of misconception, there's a lot of misinformation about what's going to happen if either or get in. And I'm here to kind of give my opinion on the situation and where I think the bull market is going to go. So first things first, a lot of people online are saying that if Kamala gets in, there's not going to be a bull market. And I think that is completely false, because what you guys really need to realize is the president isn't the person that determines whether or not there's going to be a bull market. It is the macroeconomic environment that is going to determine whether there's going to be a bull market or not, and what the fiscal policy looks like in the US. So that's the first thing to kind of recognize. Now, what will differ is the type of bull market that we may have depending on whether Trump or Kamala gets in. And I'm going to go through basically some notes that I've got down on how the bull market may look a little bit different depending on who gets in. Now, I do think it is bullish either way, because when you have a president that has been elected, you have stability for the next 4 years, and that is typically bullish for markets. All we need to do is look back in the last election of 2020. Even though Trump did not get in and Biden got in, we still had a mammoth bull run. So it's not determinant on who gets in, but what will differ is maybe how the bull market looks. So first things first, if Trump gets in, the bull market is going to look a little bit different. And there's a couple reasons for that. So first things first, the sentiment. Okay, so the sentiment for Trump getting into office is very bullish for the crypto markets, and this is going to help a lot. When the sentiment is good, that means more people become a little bit more risk on when it comes to the crypto markets, and that also means that they may be more inclined to diversify their portfolio into cryptocurrency. So that's really good. The other thing that is looking good on the Trump side is potentially a better regulatory environment. Now, for the degens, this is maybe not so good, but we all know that Trump is very well versed in the cryptocurrency space. He obviously has his own fund in there. He's also, dabbled in NFTs and things like that. So he's very well versed in the technology. But that also means that he's more inclined to regulate this environment, and that is long-term bullish. It also means that there's more security for beginners getting in the space. So it means that we might have an influx of new people into the market. And I do think that a better regulatory environment that Trump puts into place means that the ETF products are most likely going to be bought up a lot more frequently, and a lot of traditional finance are going to diversify their portfolios into the crypto space. So this is very, very bullish. The other thing that we need to realize is, from a macroeconomic environment, is even though the sentiment is bullish, we do need to recognize that Trump has a tighter fiscal policy in comparison to Kamala. And that's why I think everyone's wrong with saying that it's bearish for Kamala to get in. So I'm going to get round to that in a second. But he does have a tighter fiscal policy. He is going to be injecting less liquidity into the markets than Kamala. So just be aware of that. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to have a massive effect on the markets, but that is something to be aware of. But in terms of the macro environment, it doesn't matter. There's still going to be liquidity injected into the market. There's still going to be an increase in the M2 money supply. There's still going to be more money printing. The dollar is going to lose value. And in that case, it is macro bullish on assets, not macro bullish in general for the purchasing power of the dollar, but it is macro bullish on assets. So that's why you're going to have a really good year for stocks. You're going to have a really good year for crypto and other asset prices like housing. So that's what the bull market is going to look like if Trump gets in. Now, let's have a look at Kamala, because I think there's a lot of misconception around if Kamala gets in. The sentiment, okay, so this is just something to be aware of. The sentiment for Kamala getting in is bearish, okay? Now, that will have an effect on the short-term price action if Kamala gets in. If Kamala gets in, retail are the ones that lead the market still. We do have institutional adoption. There is going to be some manipulation in terms of that, but that is probably good for institutions. Institutions are looking at retail right now. They're thinking, oh, they're bearish on Kamala. That means there's likely going to be a pullback. There's likely going to be a flash crash. And guess who are the people who are going to be buying that up? It's going to be institutions. Okay, so the fact that the sentiment is bearish, it means there's a potential flash crash because of retail panic. But what retail don't realize is, for the macro environment, it is still bullish on assets. It's still bullish, even more bullish on assets in some cases than what it might be if Trump gets in. And the reason why is because Kamala has a looser fiscal policy, okay? She's injecting way more money into the market than what Trump will. You can see that on all of the reports. You can see what her policies are going to be, how much money she's going to inject into the market. And you can see that Kamala is actually going to be spending a lot more money than Trump, right? So when you're money printing, you're printing more money, you have a looser fiscal policy, debt becomes cheaper, Fed rate cuts in November, continuing to lower rates, then there's going to be way more liquidity put into the market. And when you have more money printing than goods and services available, then that increases inflation, which is why people are going to become more risk on, put it into assets so they can hedge against inflation. So actually, even though the sentiment is bearish, I actually think macro, it is bullish for Kamala to get into presidency. It is very, very bullish. And I do think that we will still have a really, really good bull market. All we've got to do is look back at Joe Biden's presidency. What happened when we had loads of stimulus checks? A lot of that got put into the crypto markets. And that's why we had the mammoth bull run of the 2020, 2021. And I think the exact same thing is going to happen. Either Trump or Kamala gets in. I think it's both bullish. I think everyone is calling for, Trump to become president. Maybe it could be some kind of political ploy, I don't know, to basically get people to vote Trump if they're pro-crypto in comparison to Kamala. But realistically, it's the macro environment that really is going to tell whether crypto is going to have a mammoth bull run or not based on who gets in. So that is what I wanted to kind of talk about today. I want you guys to know that either or, it's bullish for the next 12 months in crypto due to the fiscal policy, due to the Fed rate cuts, due to the macroeconomic environment. Doesn't matter who the president is. It's still going to look really, really good for assets in the next 12 months, including cryptocurrency. So yeah, obviously I'm not biased, I'm not from the US, I don't have a political opinion on this, but I just wanted to kind of give you the two perspectives here on the difference between what actually might happen and the sentiment between the both of the candidates. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.